Legacy 420 has medicinal and recreational products down to a science, literally. With 2 biochemists on staff and a chief scientific advisor, every product is tested in the Legacy 420 laboratory. Legacy 420, Tyendinaga. Open 9 to 9 every day. Visit legacy420.com.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations.
I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are coming to you here at 420radio.ca. Tonight my joint host is Kim Cooper, and our guest is a person who is involved in grassroots advocacy and is helping patients learn about cannabinoid therapy. But before we find out more, it's time for Kim and I to have a quick chat. Well, Kim, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good tonight, Al. Carrying on and going with the flow and rolling with the punches and all of that. Trying to get things done. Lots going on in Ontario in the news today, eh?
There is. There sure is. It's the we see that the AGCO has made an announcement on what some of the cannabis retail stores cannot do.
Yeah, they're putting the kibosh, so to speak, on click and collect is the term that they're using. A lot of people are online shoppers in today's world, and for convenience-wise, we do this at many stores like Walmart, grocery stores around, and we were hoping to do it at our retail cannabis outlets where you go online, you place your order, you pay for it, and you can just stop by on your way home from work and pick up your order, which is in a locker of some kind, and you go and you get your purchase. No waiting in line, no shopping, it's already done. Apparently, that's not going to be allowed at the new retail outlets.
Well, why? This just doesn't make sense. Wouldn't this just benefit what they're trying to eliminate?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely 100%. Click and collect is a mainstay in the shopping world today. People have busy lives, so anything that makes the lineup go faster, they're going to do it. And it's become very, very popular. So online shopping is where it's at today for sure. It's taking over the retail industry by storm. So huge dent for the stores that are out there. The only thing that the government has to say, the province has to say, is they want to keep a monopoly on all online sales to go directly through the province.
Well, as this report states here in the Financial Times, unfortunately, the government monopoly ensures such a scenario. So, yeah, that's what this is going to do.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous. So, it doesn't make no sense. You can do that with alcohol.
Yep. They're also not allowing same-day delivery. If the store offers a delivery service of any kind like that, you can't offer same-day delivery from a retail outlet because that would cut in on the sales that they get online.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sad state of affairs.
Yeah, so there's the government, at work, hard at work, our Ontario government is, they're after, doing the right thing for the people. Yeah, I call BS. This is about the almighty buck and nothing more. They want to maintain the money and the monopoly that they have on cannabis sales in the online marketplace in Ontario, and they're taking steps to make sure that that happens.
Well, they can still make sure that the sales, the sales are sales. They're still, it's about. Yeah. It should be about serving the customer, shouldn't it?
Yeah, knowledge should be about fulfilling the mandate. We've got a mandate here. Cannabis is legal. All citizens of Canada are supposed to have reasonable access to that product. Governments that are getting involved in putting up roadblocks like this because of dollar signs are impeding that service. So they're not doing the feds any favors by making this look good and run smoothly. That's for sure.
No, that's for sure. Exactly. I agree. Okay, Kim. Let's see what else. Oh, I should mention grassroots advocates. I mentioned about grassroots advocacy in our intro there. Just let everybody know at the PACE website, pace-online.ca. You can find the latest installment of Grassroots Advocate, a publication that we put out bi-monthly, actually. All the articles are in it, either linked to their original location or they're written myself. I've got some articles in them. Yeah.
Great little magazine. We carry them here in my NOSER office, and we give them away at our events as well.
Yeah, and they're distributed to about 12 businesses in our area, including BMA Hydroponics and Legacy 420.
Yep. Pick one up today or download it online.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about getting the education out there to the people. It was something actually that I got started when Treating Yourself magazine stopped publishing, and I had businesses say to me, Al, what's going to replace TY? I need something to hand to my patient or to my customers. And so lo and behold, this is what brought all that on.
Yep, there we go. Grassroots magazine.
Yeah, and talking about grassroots again and treating yourself, as we know, treating yourself it started out as a grassroots advocacy situation with a chat room and went on to be a magazine and an expo. And we had planned on having Andrew Shaw tonight in the program, but unfortunately Andrew's not available tonight. He had to cancel. But we're still sticking to the grassroots advocacy and the guest that we are bringing tonight.
Yeah, we got a great guest tonight that's doing a lot for their community and passing on the grassroots education.
That's right, because I'm finding in my own situation here where I live that some people just don't see this information, and you have to get right on the ground and not like I'm not saying get in the face, but I mean. Bring the information to them, make it available to them, and this is what we're going to discuss tonight. Yeah,
right. Sounds good.
Okay, well, at this time I'd like to welcome our guest, who I said is involved in grassroots advocacy and is helping patients learn their cannabinoid therapy. So we'd like to welcome Craig McEachern to the Pace Radio Show. Hello, Craig. How are you?
Hey, Al. Hey, Kim. It's great to be here. Thanks for having us today.
Oh, no problem. Hey, I'm great. I'm really thankful that you can fill in here at the last minute and be able to, still keep the same theme going.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, happy to oblige. Yeah.
Good. All right, Craig. Basically, to get things going here, I'm just going to ask you to just give our listeners a bit of a self-bio. Give us a little bit of information about yourself.
Yeah, who's Craig?
Well, Craig. Well, I personally am an epilepsy. I have epilepsy and PTSD, and I went through the mirage of pharmaceuticals from the time I was 10 years old. The only thing that even touched the ability to control my seizures and my anxiety was cannabis. So with my partner, Mr. Parsons, we have worked together in the music field and in the cannabis field for the last 25 plus years. And as soon as we realized what was going on in the industry with his, exceptional knowledge of the plant and my exuberance and maybe somewhat hyperactivity in the background of, I was a Chills Canada sales manager for many years. Also worked with Peterborough, Ontario's Pipe Dreams, which has been around for over 18 years. We decided to make our knowledge everyone's knowledge. So we created the Kawartha Knowledge Share Co-op. And we're not just exclusive to cannabis, but we knew that there is so many people that require an individual, honest, interpersonal approach to the knowledge that a YouTube video or a website cannot deliver.
For sure.
So we thought, you know what? Let's develop some seminars. Considering we both come from the music background, doing things in a fun yet informative way that is relaxed, enjoyable. That was our mandate. So that's what we're doing.
Right on. Very cool. So you're a patient yourself. I can relate to your story. I as well suffered from childhood seizures. I suffered from seizures from they started when I was about 9 years old. Mm-hmm. And I too found cannabis stopped my seizures. When I started smoking pot, all of a sudden my seizures were stopping. I quit my meds. My grandmother and my mother went crazy because I quit my meds. I said, I don't need them. I'm smoking pot. And they tried to get me in shit from a doctor, and I got lucky enough to have a neuro specialist in Toronto Western Hospital that knew about cannabis. And when he found out I was smoking cannabis, and that's why I went off my pills, he told my mom to let me.
Yeah.
So I got lucky. So I got
definitely.
lucky that I had somebody that knew what the hell he was talking about, even way back then. And I mean, that was back in like 77 or 76.
Wow. That's a blessing.
How about you, Craig?
Any way you slice it.
Did you run an experience like what Kim had, or did you run into doctors that were like roadblocks?
Well, I didn't have what you might say open-minded parental. In fact, my parents kind of pushed it under the rug because I was in a small town, and they do the EKGs. Nothing came up. They didn't have the technology to ascertain scarring on my right frontal lobe or anything of those. Any of those tools. And so
technology's come far since then.
Yeah. It took right up until 2010, 2011, when things really started to be unmanageable for me. And 2011, I went into a coma, and when I came out, I immediately made one phone call, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to start treating myself with cannabis. There's no other way to get out of this. So, still continued for a couple of years on pharmaceuticals, but they were just not working. And then I started to look at different strains, delivery systems, sublingual, edibles, topicals, and
that's the key, right? And that's the thing that people have to wrap their head around. Medical cannabis is not just smoking, when in fact it's almost the last thing that patients do.
You know what? To each his own. And I found that, I love the fact that it is an individual approach that really makes it a very useful treatment. And knowing that, the side effects are so minimal, even if you go, oh, I took a little too much today. You're not going to be run to the hospital. You're not going to lose life. You're going to just...
the side effect is you go to bed.
Possibly a little tired. Possibly need to have a bit more water. I mean, these are negligible. So, for me, I was really thankful to have the support system in place from my past history, working with the tremendous people at Chills and the tremendous people in the medicinal clinics and on and on. So, I was fortunate, but not everyone is, and I see a lot of pain and anxiety and hurt. So this is a great option for people who have never even tried it.
Okay, Craig. We talked a bit about yourself, learned about you. Now let's learn about KK.
Your organization. Or what is it? KKSC, right?
KKSC. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Ortho Knowledge Shared Co-op.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So our basic fundamental vision was there's a lot of smart people that we've known for a long time, and we learn from them. And the problem being is there wasn't an affordable, easily accessible, and basically self-governing way to learn important things like advocacy, for example, for proper use of cannabis, for example. And what we wanted to do is ensure that people could have one-on-one information sessions and truly learn from the source rather than, going to school for 2 years. And between the two of us, Mr. Parsons and myself, we realized as soon as legalization came to pass and we saw the misinformation train, we thought, oh my goodness, that's what we have to do.
Yeah, and that
and
misinformation chain is huge. It's so huge, right? I mean, there's so much out of it there. You mentioned going, to a source, to a reliable source such as yourself. You've educated yourself. You're ready to engage with other people and teach them the facts of the situation, the reality of the situation, instead of the propaganda and the misinformation that's out there. And it's funny because I had a conversation with somebody online just this week, and I was trying to give them some information, and they laughed and said, no, it's okay, I'll just ask my stoner buddies.
Uh-huh.
This is how do you combat that?
Well, for me, it's more mapping out a vast variety of, like I mentioned before, like delivery systems. How do you allow cannabinoids into your body? Because every different way has a different response. So not only does the strain, the concentration, but also the way in which it's delivered to your body, sublingually, inhalation, even vaporizing versus rolling, or bongs, or you name it. There is a myriad of different ways in which to treat yourself, and sometimes people just get locked into something comfortable.
Yeah,
like I'm finding a lot of seniors that I've been working, or we have been working with. They've been absolutely blown away by what we've discovered with our topicals, and I just this week we had a friend of my wife's went to her mother's who has chronic hip pain, and she tried using a topical for the first time, and she did away with her cortisone shots within 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So you're in a small town scene area. You're not in like Toronto, right? You're on the outskirts of town. You're in a small town scene sort of
thing. We're in Peterborough, Ontario, yeah.
So it's a smaller community. So it's more similar to what I'm dealing with up north. When you started this, your vision, I mean, how did you start this? I mean, you're doing seminars, you're teaching people, you're speaking to seniors in homes. How did this start? Did you just wake up one day and say, hey, we're going to do this?
Mr. Parsons and I have gone back over 25 years, both within the cannabis community and in the music community. In 1992, we were both really fortunate working in the music community here in the area. I was fortunate. I received a key to the city of Peterborough for my promotions to, the world outside, bringing in international artists and developing a larger tourism with that. And I don't think that I think it was just a seed that's kind of come, and grown with both of us. and we've just decided that, not only can we help, but we can improve people's lives and enrich people's lives, and in turn help the community at large, and that just makes our day. I mean, we're really fortunate to be in this position. So we have no intention of stopping it. In fact, we plan on expanding and growing into more of a barter type network where many different people can run their own workshops with their own specific niches, utilize our vast network of retailers and on to promote them, and ensure people get the knowledge from really reliable sources. That's where we ended up.
Very cool.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, it felt so good when you're teaching people and showing them that they can, cannabis works, and how good it makes you feel. That's something that I would experience when I was with Treating Yourself doing shows, the different events, the trade shows, National Home Show and stuff, and talking to patients and hearing their story, and then telling them about how cannabis can benefit them, and seeing them leave, and it was just them knowing that, hey, there is another choice here. I can do it a different way, and maybe not make me feel like I'm in a fog, like opiate drugs can do.
Or meeting somebody there that year that you had met the previous year that is now a success story, and they come back and they tell you, I've had that happen to me at events as well. Where they've come back and they said, we talked last year and I came to this event and now it's like I'm cancer free, I'm off my meds. All the stories, all the success stories that you hear from the repeat people.
Yeah, I was at a business one day, and a lady was there talking about cannabinoids, and I got joined in the conversation. I said, "Well, where'd you learn this?" She says, "Oh, I went to one of your shows." I went, "Really?"
Excellent.
So
and
yeah, this grassroots advocacy like yourselves are doing, it can expand and grow, and without groups like yourselves, bringing
and you get paid in more ways than monetary.
Yeah, you can get just the glow of the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put money on the back burner for us. Being touring musicians, I don't know if either of you are well aware, but I'm telling you, there's no one more poor than the touring musician.
Yes.
But our I always quote I always quote Joe Strummer from The Clash when I say, without people you're nothing. I find that the riches are actually within the people that you surround yourself with, and when you can enlighten and really make a difference in someone's life, there's no amount of money that matches that, and we want to spread that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
So you do educational seminars and forums and different events. What kind of capacity are you looking at these things? Do you get a lot of attendance?
Our upcoming seminars, we wanted to ensure that it was small groups, it was intimate and interactive,
nice, and
we wanted it to be as comfortable as being in your own living room. So we were fortunate, again, in our area here. Trent University has a communal building called Sadler House, which is a non-for-profit event space, which has a lecture hall that sits 30 people comfortably, and that we toured the facility, and I mean, surround sound, high definition, but with an old school chalkboard.
Awesome.
And everything else looked wonderful, but as soon as I saw that chalkboard, I went, okay, we want to book February 25th.
Because you have a chalkboard.
that grassroots initiative, we can impart the fact that we are a part of this community. We are also, we understand where we've come from, but we want to show you where you can be. And
so now, did they welcome you knowing what you were doing? Was there any questions about what you were doing, or any, hesitation on the university's part in renting you the space?
Well, no, because October 17th happened, and the only thing that we needed to do on October 17th, Mr. Parsons and myself, we studied the paperwork, and we wanted to be absolutely 100% sure that we would never cause any ill will towards not only our attendees but ourselves. We wanted to be completely 100% above board.
Right.
And as soon as we realized everything that we wanted to do was 100% completely legal and above board, that's when, we started to develop our workshops. And it's been exciting. It's a wonderful world. It's just the loopholes and the strategies that maybe people of influence and power, well, they have their own thing. But we want to stay with the people and ensure that they're getting the right information, and we're thankful we do have that. And even the facility, they said, yeah, we get it. I said, of course, medicinal users will have to leave the room or whatever, but everything's above board, and that's what they said. They said, we did our research, and yeah, this is totally fine. We're very excited.
They have no problem with patients stepping outside and consuming their medication on their property?
As long as it's in the designated smoking area, yeah, and it's completely wheelchair accessible. So I mean, it's a wonderful little venue, and it's small. So we're structuring everything so that there is information for you to take home. There are things that you can try without, leaving the room, we do have people that have never tried this stuff.
Right.
And the arthritic, and I'm so excited to be able to say, you can put this plant on your body.
That's right.
And get rid of the pain in 20 minutes.
Some of the topicals that are out there are just fantastic. I use topicals daily. I use bath bombs. It's in my soap. Topicals work for sure.
Hello. Mm-hmm. I have to jump in here. We got to go for a break, guys.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Okay, and we'll continue this conversation when we get back from the break.
All right.
Okay, as I mentioned, break, we always have some music going into the break and coming out, and I try to align it with our guest. Tonight's guest, as we mentioned, Andrew Shaw, had to cancel, but I felt the music that I had for him would also work with you, Craig, because you are a person who is out there teaching people how to treat themselves. So the song we have is "Treat Yourself." All right, and that's by a fellow by the name of Andy Segal. And when we get back, Kim and I will continue our conversation with Craig McEachern, and this is the Pace Radio Show, and we are here on 420radio.ca.
Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. If you want to. Treat yourself. If you need to. When you work real hard in the sun all day, your body ache, it won't go away. Doctor, doctor, what do I need? A little visit from my girl Mary. Treat yourself if you want to.
Legacy 420 has medicinal and recreational products down to a science, literally. With 2 biochemists on staff and a chief scientific advisor, every product is tested in the Legacy 420 laboratory. Legacy 420, Tyendinaga. Open 9 to 9 every day. Visit legacy420.com.
Are you looking for cannabis news, education, and people's opinions? Are you looking to learn what Canadian and international cannabis advocates are doing? Not only now, but what got them to this point in their lives, and what does the future hold for them? Do you want to learn how patients are using cannabis as their daily medication, or learn how their cannabis use helps them with their medical condition? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I'm going to suggest to you to tune in to Lifestyle Radio. Catch their live weekly shows and have your questions and concerns answered and find the experience you're looking for. Monday, Catch your weekly news broadcast with the Reef Reporters. Then on Wednesday, get several hours worth of cannabis public education. We get things started with Cannabis and Coffee with Tamarawana. Finish up your evening with the award-winning Pace Radio Show with Al Graham, and no week would be complete without tuning into Friday night's program, the 420 Radio Show featuring Al Rapp and the 420 Radio crew, Mary Jane Baker and Marcel Gignac. Cannabis is a lifestyle, and you can catch all your cannabis lifestyle information right here at 420radio.ca. An apple a day won't keep this doctor away, but a gram of cannabis may keep you away from the doctor. Find out how by tuning into The Higher Estate with Dr. Ira Price, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only here at 420radio.ca. Tune in to DJ Passion from the land of Ganja, the island of Jamaica, when he comes to you live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 420radio.ca.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Canadays, your friendly neighborhood Campbellford head shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Let us help you grow your 4 with weekly Tuesday night gardening sessions for beginners. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Canadays, more than just a head shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Treat yourself. Free the flower, grow the seed. It fights sickness and it combats disease. The only thing to treat me properly is a visit from my little girl named Mary. Don't you wanna self-medicate with me? I see the smiling faces when they feel I breathe. So you see, it's time to legalize it, yeah. Go on and treat yourself. If you want to treat yourself.
Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Pace Radio Show here on 420radio.ca. Tonight on the program, I'm joined by our guest, Craig McEachern of the Kawartha Knowledge Sharing Co-op, plus my joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. Well, Kim and Craig, before the break, we're talking about you as a patient, as well as the Kawartha Knowledge Sharing Co-op. Where do we want to go now, Kim? Still got some more questions on that?
Yeah, well, we were talking a little bit about the topicals. That's
Right.
and your work with a lot of the senior community and stuff like that. That's the one area I find with a lot of the people up here that I work with that are the senior population. Topicals. That's where it's at right now, eh?
I believe that it's just a non-invasive way to approach things from. Well, I mean, Mr. Parsons has done way more clinical study, but we just find that it works. And if it works, then we have to make sure people know, because everyone can grow 4 plants. So if you can grow 4 plants, why don't we show you how to make those 4 plants improve your life?
And use them the best you possibly can. Whole plant remedy and all of that. Absolutely, it's the best way to go, a most economical way to go in today's world for sure. Topicals right now across the country are getting pulled off the shelves. CBD-ready treatments were available at places like the Body Shop. Where we go and buy our soaps and stuff. They're not there anymore because LPs are taking proprietary ownership over all cannabinoid properties, including CBD. So teaching these people how to make their own, that's the way to go today, right?
We feel that empowering people with knowledge is our one true way of ensuring that people are actually being helped. And we're really thankful because there's just so many opportunities for us here in this small community. I mean, we're like a town that has the amenities of a city,
Yeah.
and we do have a very large senior populace here.
Oh,
So
yes.
we're just
voted
reaching.
conservative many
Oh
years.
well,
Well, not
Yeah.
well. Your last conservative MP spending time in the cells, but
yeah. Mr. Del Mastro had a song written about him that I actually penned. I guarantee you will laugh harder when you hear it, but it's true. But we don't have that now.
That's
What
correct.
what we're finding is that ancient stigma from 1936 onward is a hard one to shake, and
Yep.
and so that's where we've focused. And
It's
It-
90
it's-
years of prohibition and propaganda that has
That's
to
right.
be erased, or maybe not erased, but has to be removed as a negative from people's minds. And
Yeah,
that's
and
not
we're
gonna
only
happen.
5
That's not going to
months
happen overnight.
No, it's not
I think-
happening in 5 months. That's for sure.
no, definitely, I can concur with you on that. We feel that the day will come though when everyone can sit around and watch Reefer Madness and laugh so hard
Oh.
that this. Oh my goodness! The first time I watched it, I nearly doubled over, and I had 3 copies. I was giving them away.
I used
You
to.
know?
I used to show that movie Reefer Madness in cafes. I used to do it in Peterborough.
Oh yeah,
I used to do it on.
I
in Peterborough.
remember. Yeah. I actually
And,
performed at that cafe.
Some people would laugh at it, but some people would say to me, "Al, why would you even show something like that?" And I'd say that's all part of the education of prohibition. This is how the government educated
where it
the
all
masses.
started.
Yeah.
That's where it all started.
That's where it
Is
all
they showed
started.
that in theaters, and that's what you have to make people understand. Okay,
Yeah.
wrap your head around that. People paid money to go to the theater to see this, and they walked away believing it was true.
Yeah, it's all part of the history.
We've
Yeah,
come a
continue.
long way, dudes. We've come a long way, dudes. Like,
Yeah.
and we've been fortunate too to have just a great network of people. Our education.
There's you and Mr. Parsons, right? You've mentioned Mr. Parsons. Now, when you do these shows, seminars, do you bring other advocates in? Maybe get them involved, or is this maybe, if you're not doing it now, maybe something you would do down the road?
That's definitely what we plan on doing, is expanding our workshop and seminar network to include a vast proponent of individuals who have so much to share, but maybe do not have the ability to put it forward as we do. And we feel that that's a serious loss in our community and in other outlying communities. So what our hope is not just our community, but in small, an hour away, here, there,
Well,
and including many other advocates as well in many different realms.
Well, I might be able to help connect you to something like along that lines, because I'm within your hour range. And
dude.
I'm actually doing a seminar at the end of March in our local in a hall at our local library. And
There you go.
Yeah, it's got room for 24 people, like you say.
Wonderful.
Small venue. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks. It was the reserved seating was gone. There was a person I know, at least one person, who asked to be put on a waiting list if there was one being made up.
There you go. I mean, people want the information.
Yeah.
That much is for sure. Everybody wants to know, and everybody is looking for a reliable source. Well, the majority of the people are looking for a reliable source. Some people rely on their stoner buddies. Why, I'll never know, but okay. Let's try and get the stoner buddies educated then, maybe.
Yeah.
So
You know what? That's a wonderful point, Kim. And we have started to we've been approached by a myriad of different sources, and some of them are it's quite wonderful to hear from. And the education model it's not exclusive. It can come from the 22, 23-year-old who has been a recreational user and just going, well, maybe there's something to what you guys are talking about, to the 65, 70-year-old with chronic hip pain, and there's so much knowledge out there that fine-tuning it to the individual, that's where we want to shine. And even from
the myths. That's the main objective, I think, is dispelling the myths at this point, because there are so many myths out there. I think and most people that I talk to, I wind up getting more questions fired at me and we get way off topic of where we started, because people want to dispel, well, what about this? And what about that? And well, I heard this, and well, I heard that. And all of it is like, oh, I'm sorry, but no, that's not true. And you spend the entire time dispelling the myths, because there are so many.
Yeah.
Well, there's, that's totally true. We run into that frequently as well, and that's the wonderful thing about how we structured our seminars and how we want to do that with everyone. Have a handout, have the ability to reference all of the information after the fact, either online or in physical form, and that way, there's tangibility to the words that you're using, and the props that you're using, and the things that they're trying, and they have something physical that they can go, okay, well, as much as I've seen all of this information in the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 90 years, I have this now, and let's try it.
Yeah.
That's the ability to
can't hurt to try it at this point. And a lot of especially the ones that are there because of an illness or an ailment of whatever that they're trying to solve, a problem they're trying to solve, they're usually at a point where it's like, well, you know what, I've tried everything else.
For sure.
What about, you mentioned earlier that you had an event coming up. I don't know, did you have seating available for that still? Or how can somebody, deal with it?
First and foremost, our workshops are going to be February the 25th. That's a Monday, February the 25th. There's a 1 o'clock and a 6 p.m. And Wednesday, February 27th. Yeah, two of them on the Monday. Wednesday, February 27th, there will be a 1 o'clock and a 6 o'clock as well. They are available through our Facebook page at Kawartha Knowledge Share. And just private message us if you'd like to pay RSVP tickets in advance, and we can put you on a list. There is also direct links to purchase tickets for the Monday ones today, and then tomorrow for the Wednesday ones as well. They will be up on our Facebook page. And you can also go to our website at kksc.jimdosite.com. Just click on events, and all of the events are listed, all the topics that we're covering, and you'll not just go home educated, but I think it'll dispel a lot of myths for those who just quite haven't come around to the fact that, hey, you can do this now. Come on, we'll show you how.
Some of the things that you're going to be doing there, because it's quite an impressive list of topics that you touch on. Main focus is topical pain relief, edibles, and sublingual class topicals. They include strain selection, potency calculations, cleaning cannabis, decarboxylation, brief cannabinoid analysis, carrier oil infusions, as well as health benefits. And as you said, other subjects as well, and dispelling myths. You guys are only charging $20 a class for this. That's a lot of stuff for $20.
And don't forget, there's a discount.
Yeah. And you can get a discount if you're a senior, if you're a patient, or you're ACMPR. There's all
seniors and
kinds
ACMPR get 25% discount because they're obviously the ones that need it the most. And
so, I mean, $20. Wow.
Yeah, we're not, like I said, we took a look at the marketplace. We love what a lot of the other groups and larger firms and larger companies are doing. But for us, we want to share knowledge. We want to build a network of people that can benefit from each other's knowledge. And, you know, we're not here to screw anybody. We're here to ignite a fire, and we want to make sure that it's cannabis for everyone.
It's an education class.
It's cannabis for everyone.
I mean, everybody should be able to afford an education, right?
You bet.
Yeah,
you bet.
You still have expenses to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Those things obviously have to be covered.
Yeah.
So, like Kim says, you know,
you've got to make your money back. I mean, it can't cost you money to do this, of course.
You're a patient as well, right?
You're a patient as well.
Yeah. But I mean, together we're stronger, and we're able to assist each other. I mean, when I, just as a sidebar, when I was personally the first time I received my medicinal exemption, it was the second wave. It was 2011.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, it was spooky out there.
Yeah,
it is. Well, it can be spooky.
It was the wild, wild west. To know that the medicine you need is available, but impossible to get.
Yeah.
That was something. But I mean, again, if it wasn't for the assistance and help of advocates that were able to assist, I'm telling you, that would have been messy.
I'm finding it's a lot of patients who have seen the benefits themselves, experienced the benefits. They're the ones that are getting out there in front and speaking up and sharing those experiences and with others and sharing the knowledge.
Everyone's starting an enterprise. Everyone's starting these classes. Everyone teaching everybody else and bringing other people in. Every one of them is a patient.
Well, we're of the ideal that these are workshops for everyone.
Yeah.
We know that the benefits can be attained. So why not make sure that everyone has the information?
That's right.
Yeah. Now,
we're all in the same boat. It helped us, and now we just want to stand on the rooftop and tell everybody, listen up, people. Why aren't you listening?
That's right, dude. Yeah.
Are these workshops, are they more like a lecture, PowerPoint presentation, so on and so forth, or is there some for example, you're talking here about edibles or creams and that. Is there some sort of demonstration included in that?
Well, we're both we're musicians, so you're not going to be bored at our seminar. I guarantee you. But I promise you this. But at the most part, we just really want to make sure that everyone finds the path they need.
So how long are the seminars?
They run about an hour and a half with a nice 20 to 30 minutes of question and answer. There will be refreshments and snacks available, but not the medicated kind because we don't want to slip something into the wrong person. But we are going to be showing a lot of different things. I mean, there will be the differences in decarboxylation. We're going to be enabling people to experience topicals because, quite frankly, we think it's paramount.
Can you, I'm going to ask you about a question about topicals before I forget. I see that
absolutely
today the government was the consultation was done when it comes to edibles and stuff like that, and the dangers of them. And in that, they include the dangers of topicals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking,
why is topicals mixed with edibles?
why is as far as danger, it just doesn't make sense to me. That people don't
I think that if I think that if anyone's ever had the unpleasantness of having Voltaren and licking it, maybe that might be a problem.
Oh,
But I don't know.
I don't.
It's preposterous to me that they're lumped together like that, and that I mean the limits that they're talking about putting on in, say, a gummy bear is going to apply to a bottle of cream. Are you kidding me?
It's all good. We're going to teach everyone how to do it right and make sure that
Yeah. Just make your own. We won that right under Smith. We're allowed to extract our own.
We've been wanting to overgrow the government now for years, right?
Well, don't
and so as long as they continue to perpetuate their end of the silly, we're going to continue to perpetuate our end.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. As long as people have access, that's what matters. So
with people being
that's what we're going to try to perpetuate,
Yeah, and with people being able to grow their own cannabis, they're going to be able to grow their own product to make their own product, which they can legally do. So
correct.
All the education, all the information, all the better, too.
That's right.
Now,
make our own.
That's where we're at.
I see that you've also got some support from your community. You mentioned Pipe Dreams there earlier. They're on board and helping out here? Tickets available there or anything like that?
Tickets are available through our Facebook site because we just didn't want to inundate them.
Right.
But just send us a private message through our Facebook site. We'll set up a hold for your seat. It's first come, first serve. But and Monday is starting to get a little bit packed, so definitely jump on the 25th dates. And also the Wednesday dates, the late one is starting to fill up, but there is space in the afternoon one. We don't want to be there by ourselves, so come on out Wednesday afternoon. But we've had immense support. Pipe Dreams has been by my side ever since Chills, and even beforehand when it was Total Temptations.
Wow, I don't even know about that one.
Deanna and I go way back. We used to work together, and we continually work together. And that's just a relationship of mutual respect for the herb.
Chills and Dion was involved. I remember seeing in the store the picture of him. Ran into problems with the law, didn't he, at the border?
Well, that was during Operation Pipe Dreams, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, and Chris Hill was one of the parent owners of Chills.
Okay. Yeah.
And he went down with Mr. Chong, and wow, that was a stressful time for us.
I can just imagine.
But at the same time, look where we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, every step that we've collectively taken as a human race, obviously, we're doing something right because here we are. Yeah. And I thought I'd see legalization by the time I was 60, and I'm 46. So I know I've made some bets. If anyone, took me up on that bet, can you please pay me? Because I knew I'd have legalization before I was 60.
There's a lot of us, I'm sure, that never thought that we'd ever see legalization, whether we agreed with what's in there now, but just the fact of it happening. We may have never thought that was ever going to happen, and here it is.
We hoped it would, but we didn't really believe.
Yeah, and as Kim can attest to, through our Reefer Reporters segment, we're discussing and bringing up articles that involve a lot of other countries that have suddenly just jumped on board and want to get involved. Like even Turkey, just this week we talked about.
Yeah.
Well, we for me, and I know Mr. Parsons could probably attest to this too. We've been working on this a good long time, whether we admit to it or not.
Yeah.
It's just by being part of the culture and embracing the culture, and then educating. And we've been doing that for over 25 years. So we're just fortunate to be able to now put an actual, a face on it, to be out in the public
Making
and
an
saying,
event.
Guess what, guys?
Instead of just hanging out in the living room and bringing all
Right.
friends over and, okay, it's going to be at my house, or it's at Peter's house this week, or it's at whoever's house this week, right? Now we can get space and do this properly.
Yeah. And we're just thankful to have that opportunity to do it at Sadler House. And coming up at the end of the month, we're really excited, and we hope everyone that's interested, let us know right away.
Awesome.
Like I mentioned, there's only 30 seats per seminar. It will be fun. It will definitely be informative.
And only $20 a seat.
Yeah.
Or
and
less.
a discount. And a discount if you're a patient.
Yeah.
Or senior.
Yeah. And you'll be really happy with the end result. That we can guarantee.
Yeah, and it's wheelchair accessible.
People are looking for an education out there, and they're looking for reliable sources.
And from the beginner to the intermediate, you'll come away happy for sure.
And this is what you're calling Mother's Miracle Cannabis Workshop?
Yes, yeah. Mother's Miracle. That's our focus. So that's what you can. It's synonymous with ensuring that the female of the species, right?
Yeah.
So we just found that there's just so many compounds, so many different ways to use it. It's truly a miraculous plant. And Mr. Partners just said, we're going to call it Mother's Miracle. I said, that's
Mother
absolutely
Nature,
stellar.
she made it.
That's absolutely stellar. Yeah.
And you'll probably find that you'll have patients that'll be sharing their stories. And while they share their stories with you and the others that are in attendance, they themselves might not even realize it, but they themselves are also educating other people.
Exactly. And we want to expand to a real network of workshops and seminars. And inclusivity is what we're all about. So people who have direct knowledge in different finer points of not just the cannabis community, but all types of informative seminars that we can utilize. We're all for it.
Good. That's it.
Excellent. Quickly, just one other point. What is your basic age? What's your basic age demographic that you get there? Is it a wide variety of ages?
We're finding an exceptional range. For us, we're, like I'd mentioned before, we're finding a wonderful a senior age bracket for a lot of the things that we're doing. But we have groups. We have groups of 2 or 3 people all gathering together and coming to these. We also have individuals that might be just curious, maybe not utilizing it currently, but eager to learn how. And then we're finding, even growers who are like, I wonder how I can utilize this knowledge with what I'm currently doing to help whomever I'm growing for. It's a great wealth of knowledge and a nice opportunity for all of us to get together under one roof and really spread that knowledge.
Oh, it is. It is.
Everybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not one, not geared to one age group at all, and that just shows you.
Yeah.
No, in a nice, comfortable learning environment and very inclusive.
Yeah,
cool.
I completely agree. Okay, guys, it's time for us to take a break.
All right. We'll be
Time
back
for a commercial. All right. Tonight's featured artist is Andy Segal, and his song "Treat Yourself," as Craig and KSC is doing and educating people so they can just do that. And then after the break, Kim and I will continue our conversation with Craig. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show here at 420radio.ca.
Treat yourself if you need to. Treat yourself, no one can tell you. Treat yourself, you have the right to. Treat yourself, you have the right to.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Canadays, your friendly neighborhood Campbellford head shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Let us help you grow your 4 with weekly Tuesday night gardening sessions for beginners. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Canadays, more than just a head shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking for cannabis news, education, and people's opinions? Are you looking to learn what Canadian and international cannabis advocates are doing, not only now, but what got them to this point in their lives, and what does the future hold for them? Do you want to learn how patients are using cannabis as their daily medication, or learn how their cannabis use helps them with their medical condition? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I'm going to suggest to you to tune in to Lifestyle Radio. Catch their live weekly shows and have your questions and concerns answered and find the experience you're looking for. Monday, catch your weekly news broadcast with the Reef Reporters. Then on Wednesday, get several hours worth of cannabis public education. We get things started with Cannabis and Coffee with Tamarawana. Finish up your evening with the award-winning Pace Radio Show with Al Graham, and no week would be complete without tuning into Friday night's program, the 420 Radio Show featuring Al Rapp and the 420 Radio crew, Mary Jane Baker and Marcel Gagnac. Cannabis is a lifestyle, and you can catch all your cannabis lifestyle information right here at 420radio.ca. An apple a day won't keep this doctor away, but a gram of cannabis may keep you away from the doctor. Find out how by tuning into The Higher Estate with Dr. Ira Price, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only here at 420radio.ca. Tune in to DJ Passion from the land of Ganja, the island of Jamaica, when he comes to you live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 420radio.ca.
Legacy 420 has medicinal and recreational products down to a science, literally. With 2 biochemists on staff and a chief scientific advisor, every product is tested in the Legacy 420 laboratory. Legacy 420, Tyendinaga. Open 9 to 9 every day. Visit legacy420.com.
Treat yourself. Treat yourself.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for tuning into the Pace Radio Show. We are broadcasted here at 420radio.ca, and if you missed the show, don't forget you can always catch our podcast afterwards at iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, as well as other music applications. Okay, tonight we feature the music of Andy Segal and his song "Treat Yourself." I don't know anything about Andy, but there may be some more information about him in his music online. I got to meet. Actually, I don't know if we get to meet him there, but I know his song was released at one of the past Treating Yourself expos. Tonight on the program, we're joined by our guest Craig McEachern of the Quarth of Knowledge Sharing Co-op and my joint host Kim Cooper. Okay, before the break, we were discussing. So much.
Demographics. Age demographics. People
the demographics, right? The 65, the people that are the seniors and stuff like that. And you know, to tell you the truth, over the years that I've been involved in doing this, I've always felt that seniors got a bad rap when it came to this, because of the fact that it was people put them down as not being cannabis friendly. But I can tell you, geez, a lot of them sure asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Dude, I concur. You know what? I think they were just, they were brought up in that time of fear, right?
Yeah.
And they stay quiet.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a new day, and I mean, they don't want to stay on the prescriptions anymore. They know. They're smart.
They know what the prescription.
They have a wealth of knowledge, and now they just want to acquire this knowledge to feel better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. As I mentioned earlier, opiates and stuff, and a lot of seniors have bowel issues, and when you're dealing with opiates, you're dealing with constipation and bowel issues. Nah.
Most of the time, if you've got stomach issues, it's caused from the prescriptions that you've been taking for so many years.
Yeah.
I can attest to that for sure, because it destroys your stomach acids and your stomach lining, and then now you're screwed. So, I mean, it happens a lot, and the seniors, they're becoming wise to it. They're becoming educated. A lot of them have gone online now, and I think that's opened a lot of eyes and a lot of doors.
Yeah, I believe that totally. Once Facebook became more user friendly to the senior population, I think that turned a big tide in the knowledge, and the ability to source it out, definitely, but also because any human being that's been alive for 60 years has acquired an immense amount of real-world knowledge. That's why they're coming to a natural solution, because they've run out of options.
Yeah, they've tried it the new way with the medicine and the doctors and the pills, and they're getting sicker, and they're looking and they're saying, well, you know what? I'm going to go back and do what my grandmother did.
Yeah, and now, as you both can probably attest, I know we can. Doctors understand it more now than they ever have before, and more, even general practitioners are saying, "Okay, well, we've exhausted our options. We better try cannabis now."
Yeah,
they're just really starting to get some cannabis education in some of the colleges and universities. But as far as doctors and nurses teaching cannabis or being taught cannabis, I'm not hearing anything about that. And Ontario's got a 4-hour course for people working in a cannabis retail store, but we don't have a course to teach doctors and nurses.
There is a course that doctors and nurses can take, but it's a pay-as-you-go course. It's an extra fee course. Yeah. It's optional. It's done after the fact. And I actually know somebody that is involved in that, and I've been told that the highest number of registrants for taking that particular course to learn about cannabinoid therapy is nurse practitioners. Are the ones that are opting to take the extra education.
Good.
And that seems to be the only element in the medical industry that is opting to take it, and that is nurse practitioners. But that's because they have the right to prescribe now, right? In Ontario.
That's right. Yeah, they do.
Well, that's reassuring in some ways, because we love the fact that that this initiative has been a grassroots initiative for many years, and our practitioners are the ones with their ears to the ground. So hopefully something beneficial comes from that. And hey, all the more reason to put on more seminars for those types of people. That's to really give them some background.
I don't know whether you're finding this or not, but you may find in some of your seminars, maybe some people from the healthcare field will be that are attending them, like a nurse or a nurse practitioner. where they'll come and sit and take notes.
Well, the great thing is everyone gets a pamphlet on the way out the door. They don't need to take notes. We're going to show them exactly what we're doing, because the fact is, we want people to feel good. We want people to utilize this plant to the benefit of their health and well-being. We don't want secrets. We want an open, knowledgeable, sharing community, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. So you just mentioned about a pamphlet. So you got handout materials for people?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I want to go back, if I can, and ask a question touch on something that we talked about in the very start here.
Cool.
You mentioned a bit about, expanding and a vision of the future. So let's go there for a few minutes. I love what you're doing, and there's a lot of small communities around that could use services like this. I know it's not reasonable to ask people to travel to do these things, but what about setting up like satellite stations in other towns following your model? Have you thought about anything like that?
We are planning on some things down the road that are going to be including that. We would rather have some more solid information in the hands of people first, because we are in our initial stages, but at the same time we have 40 plus combined years of knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is definitely part of our framework.
Or
Yeah, and that's
partnering
something
perhaps with other people that have,
Yeah.
equivalent amount of knowledge in another region that are
Right.
looking to do the same thing and don't know how.
You could
Quite
broadcast.
frankly-
You could broadcast that through Skype or Facebook Time or whatever, and the person at the other end could actually connect and project it up onto a big screen, and people at those locations
Be your
could-
hands at a counter.
Yeah, yeah, and you can,
Absolutely, and developing that framework is definitely something we want to do, and working with like-minded individuals like yourselves, again, definitely what we want to do. We are an inclusive spot, and yeah, we're willing to entertain all those things.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
That'd be
lot
awesome.
of rural. I mean, let's face it. Ontario, the majority is rural. Toronto might have a massive amount of population all located in one area, which makes them the biggest populous area in the province. But we're also the largest mass of province in the entire country. So that means that we're 90% rural, and all of these rural communities are starving for information, quite frankly. If you're outside of the Ottawa or Toronto hub, there's not much out there.
And let's face it, you're looking at $150 to $250 per session, and it's not really a personal connection. There's not really,
Not at all.
no.
I've been to a couple of them, and I've covered a couple of them as a reporter and stuff, and you just kind of leave shaking your head going, really? People paid for that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I would do my seminars when I was doing the cannabis educational series, the documentaries. I would have anywhere from 1 to 50 people, and it didn't matter to me if one person showed up at the cafe that night, because I could spend that much more time face to face and talking to them about that, and
That's right. It becomes more personal.
You did, because this one couple that was there the one particular time, their daughter had epilepsy and had actually passed away. And when I told them about how long, that this research has been going on and other patients have, seen the benefits, and you could actually go right back to 1840 where it was shown the benefit of it. And they're asking, well, why wasn't my child given this opportunity? Why weren't they given? Why weren't they allowed access to this?
Absolutely.
It's not a moneymaker for the pharmaceuticals, that's why.
No, and it wasn't in the 80s either when I was struggling as well. So, but thankfully we've gotten out of that.
Yeah.
And we are more than happy to share it with all. We're looking at closer outlying areas, but if there are places that are a little bit out of reach, it's just about setting up some kind of a framework, and we just haven't quite gotten to that part yet.
Yeah.
But we'd love to take on individuals that
you're
can
new
do
and
that.
you're expanding and exploring and stuff and getting on your feet. That's understandable. But I just want to plant that seed because, I mean, it's definitely something to look at in the future because it's needed in rural Canada all across this province.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know it can be done because when I was doing the documentaries, following the documentaries, I used to do Skype interviews for the people that were there watching the movie. I called somebody on Skype and projected an image up there. So I would think that would be very similar types thing. So, if you guys decide to do that and you need a hand or whatever, or, what did you do, Al? Just give me a buzz and I can fill you in on that.
Well, that's the nice thing about reconnecting again.
Yeah.
Is our lives have always run in similar ways, but we're just in a position to do like today, for example, and it's exciting to be a part of this.
Well, it's funny because we've all crossed paths, right?
Yes.
And never really connected. I've crossed paths with Al Graham for years prior to actually connecting with him. Right back to Treating Yourself Cup days where he was there putting it on and I was there as an event goer. So, I mean, we were crossing paths all over the frickin' place and never even really connected until doing Pace Radio with him, and he invited me onto the show. And we found out just slightly before the show that you and I have crossed paths as well.
I know.
At events,
I know.
concerts.
Isn't that wild too? I mean, I was working the Chills Canada booth at the Ozfest at the Docks for the Black Sabbath tribute show.
And I was there.
And that's the wonderful thing about advocacy, and it just brings us to now, and that's why it's wonderful to be included in what we're doing right now. It's amazing.
This is the Pace Radio show has been going for over 5 years now, and Kim's been along for a majority of that, and it's great when you be able to talk to other advocates across the country and learning what they are doing and sharing their experiences, which in turn can help others come up with, hey, I can do that. If that person's doing that, that's something I can do, and I can make it work for myself and do something along the same line. So,
the empowerment and freedom.
We've had been the inspiration for several other shows that have sprung up on the air over the years as well.
That's phenomenal.
Past guests. And they wound up coming on the show as an interview, being interviewed, and then a few weeks later they have their own show.
That's right.
That's cool.
Okay, we've been talking about getting connected. You guys with your concerts in the past, and Kim and I past in our advocacy. As far as the connection thing, I see on the information that you sent me earlier that about Dudeism. Dudis?
Yeah.
Dudeism?
Dudeism.
Dude. I noticed you said dude. You've said a dude a few times tonight.
Dude.
Dude became part of my daily routine a few years ago. It's pretty cool. Once upon a time, there was a movie called The Big Lebowski. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Sure, most of us are acquainted with it. Well, out of the confines of that came a small little network originating from Oliver Benjamin, who is an author and all around pretty decent Taoist and Dudist and Buddhist, and all the fascisms and isms, and he created this group called Dudeism. And it's, there's over 600,000 ordained Dudist priests now in the world.
What? Really?
600,000 growing. Yeah. Now, some of us are, kind of like, there for the fun. Mm-hmm. Others, are like myself, are, a little more spreading the word. So I have Dudism TV. It's a YouTube channel, and I just take little Dudist options that happen here, there, and everywhere, and talk about them.
So what is the philosophy behind being a Dudist?
Well, it's real basic. We have 2 tenets. 1, take it easy. 2, abide. That's it.
That's it.
We don't have. Yeah, that's it.
Take it easy and abide.
That's it. That's all we do.
Jeez. Now,
in March 6th is the Day of the Dude, which is the anniversary of the Big Lebowski. And we celebrate by having a Caucasian, which is a white Russian in dude speak. And we don't mind if you do a J.
I was going to say, is that be a white Russian? It's a strain of cannabis. It's not just a drink.
Yes. Yes, I know. Yes. A little widow and a little something else, and off you go.
Off you go.
But, no, it's been a wonderful community to me. Definitely something that people who want to learn how to take it easy and subplant some Buddhism, some Taoism.
So how do people find you on YouTube?
Dudism TV, all one word. There I am, spouting about something silly.
So are your podcasts, are they like a half hour long, 10 minutes? Are they short, long, or it just depends on the day? Like it's just like you say.
Well, I just follow the 2 tenets, and whatever flows out of my mouth or is at the top of my head, that's what shows up. And I really don't put too much. I don't put too much thought into it, to be quite honest with you, because that's exhausting.
It is.
So you're not writing sermons at night?
No. I leave that for the clergy. I'm just take it easy and abide, man. We're passionate about the things that we're doing with the co-op.
Yeah.
But Dudism is just a way of being for me.
Okay. All right. And I noticed that you have a reverend title.
Yeah, my known name is Reverend Doodly Noted.
Doodly noted.
Yeah.
Doodly noted.
Doodly noted. That allows me to accept the information someone else is telling me, but I'm a musician, so the noted part I had to add in there.
Yeah.
And so there you are.
So I guess music and Judaism would go together too, because music could be very I don't know whether Judaism, whether you meditate or whatever, but music can be something that can be very relaxing and assist in that, could it not?
Soulful.
Yeah, it's all together. I mean, I gave up on trying to be someone else a bit ago. I still have my trials and tribulations with that, but I've definitely become much more comfortable with who you are. I am, and how the world functions through Dudism. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me, for sure.
Awesome.
So, something I think I'll look into.
Yeah, for sure. Dudism sounds pretty cool to me.
It does.
Ordination free.
What's that?
You just got to show up. Ordination is free. You just got to show up and abide. That's it.
There you go. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. And it's like you can do an online thing, so it's not as if people have to travel in bad weather as we're going to experience tonight.
Yeah, you can do it from the comfort of your internet-enabled device, for sure.
That's what I said to Wayne. I said, we've got another weather advisory. It must be Wednesday.
It must be Wednesday. Wednesday in February.
Okay. Let's see. We're down to the last 8 minutes here. Let's see. Maybe we should jump to the shout-out part of the show?
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. Okay, Craig, this is when you get an opportunity to promote your website, where you guys can be found. I know you've already mentioned it, but by all means, mention it again. The same with your Dudism on YouTube. Let people know where you can be found there, and let them know when your events are happening.
Yeah, right on. Well, again, thank you so much, guys, for having us on the Pace Radio Show. We're Kawartha Knowledge Share Co-op, so we're doing a series of cannabis events, learning and instructing all the means in which your cannabis can work for you. They're going to be at Sadler House in Peterborough, Ontario, which is at 751 George Street. We have 2 seminars on Monday, February the 25th, 1 p.m. and 6 p.m., and also 2 seminars Wednesday, February 27th, 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. You can find all the information, tickets, as well at our Facebook page, which is Kawartha Knowledge Share on Facebook. Private message us if you'd rather buy tickets at the show. It is limited to 30 seats per seminar, so definitely jump on those tickets and get them immediately. If you do miss them, by all means, this is not a one-time event. This will be ongoing. And if you are in different areas or regions of Ontario that's in and around the Peterborough area, or wanted to do something remotely, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're super inclusive. We really want people to be educated and share knowledge. That's exactly what we're here for.
That's
awesome.
Good. Awesome. Okay, Kim?
For me...
hang on. Did you say your website address?
Yeah, it's kksc.jimdosite.com.
All right.
All the links are available on Facebook, but you can also message us through our Facebook or via email at kawarthakSC@gmail.com.
Super. Good. And I believe I include the link in the post. If not, I will update that. Okay, Kim?
For me, I'm going to give my shout out this week to the THC committee, Timmins Hemp Community. They're planning the 420 for Timmins this year, and we're looking for sponsors as well as volunteers and vendors. So contact the THC community on Facebook at Timmins Hemp Community 420 Timmins team, and let them know if you want to be part of their event by being a sponsor. There's several levels of sponsorship available. They can send you out a document and let you know what's available at different levels, and give you some space on their posters and in their advertising scheme throughout the city over the course of the 6 weeks prior to 420 this year. So jump on board for Timmins 420. We could use the help.
Super. Good to see you're still involved in the THC group, even though you're no longer there.
Yeah, we're still rocking along out there, and I jump back and forth and for meetings, and we're going to pull off a bunch of events this year, even with me being far away.
Good. All right. Okay. Next week, next Wednesday, I'm back with my joint host Debbie Stoltz-Giffen and her special guests. You can find Pace on Twitter at Pace Radio. We're available on Facebook, obviously, and we're also on Instagram, Pace Radio Show. And we can be found on the web at our website, pace-online.ca. Thank yous go out to our sponsors, the friendly and helpful folks at Legacy 420, which I say is Canada's largest First Nations cannabis dispensary. They can be found at legacy420.com. Also to our producer, Al Rapp of 420radio.ca. And Craig, to you. Thank you for coming on for the show and talking to us about the Kawartha Knowledge Sharing Co-op.
Well, it was great. Great being a part of it, guys. Thank you so much for having us. Look forward to hanging out with you guys in the future. Hopefully, Mr. Parsons can join you. Yes. He's the real brains behind the operation. He blows my mind each and every time he opens his mouth. So I'm pretty sure you'd have fun talking to him.
Good. Well, maybe we can connect down the road with, like as we said, a satellite location.
Yeah, do a follow up and see how the first events go.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, all right, Kim.
Yeah, I love that. We'll do a follow-up. Yeah.
Yes. We'll do a follow-up show, and we'll do maybe an education seminar together. All right, Kim, thank you for everything you do.
Oh, thank you for having me, Al. Pleasure being here. Love spreading the word.
And thank you for our listeners for tuning in the program. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations.
Legacy 420 has medicinal and recreational products down to a science, literally. With 2 biochemists on staff and a chief scientific advisor, every product is tested in the Legacy 420 laboratory. Legacy 420, Tyendinaga. Open 9 to 9 every day. Visit legacy420.com.